What if I told you that the most important thing that happened on SmackDown last Friday wasn't the match announcement? What if I told you it wasn't CM Punk strutting out with that title, and it wasn't even Gunther going absolutely feral on Nick Aldis like a man who just found out someone ate the last of his bratwurst? What if the biggest clue that Cody Rhodes is walking out of SummerSlam as the undisputed WWE Champion was hidden in plain sight? Buried inside a single word, a handshake, and the specific way this whole story has been constructed over the past several months, because that's exactly what I think happened, and by the time we're done here, you're gonna think so too. Let's go back to the beginning of what SmackDown on July 10th actually was, because you cannot understand the clue without understanding the full picture. The show opens in Oklahoma City. Nick Aldis is back. He's reinstated, he's taking zero apologies, and he's about to introduce the new undisputed WWE Champion, CM Punk. Now, if you watched Raw the week before, you already know how we got here. Cody Rhodes was supposed to be the guy who went in and challenged Sami Zayn for the title. Cody never made it to that match because Gunther, the absolute unit of rage and chest chops that he is, attacked Rhodes backstage and kept him from getting medical clearance. So Punk swooped in, hit the GTS, won the title, and now we're here. Punk walks out on SmackDown to a massive ovation, cuts a confident promo about how championship opportunities fall out of the sky and he catches them, and then starts rattling off names: Zayn, Gunther, Finn Balor, Royce Keys, Damian Priest, Trick Williams, basically an open invitation to anyone with a pulse and some ambition. And then Cody Rhodes walks out. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's where WWE starts laying in the brickwork of a story that is absolutely designed to end with Cody walking out of Minneapolis with gold. Punk sees Cody and says something remarkable. He says that when he imagined the moment they finally shared a ring together, he always pictured it as the main event of WrestleMania. He admits they can't run from each other anymore. Cody looks at him, references the fact that the last time they crossed paths, the situation was a mirror image. Same vibes, same black eye on Punk, and when Punk essentially opens the door to fight right there and then, Cody says one word: SummerSlam. Just that. No speech, no long promo. One word. They shake hands, Nick Aldis makes it official, and the biggest match in SmackDown's recent history is set. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam 2026 in Minneapolis. And that one-word answer, that handshake, that quiet confidence, that is your first clue. Think about how WWE tells its stories. When they want to build a babyface for a championship win, they don't give him big rambling speeches about how he deserves it and how hard he's worked. They let him be calm. They let him be sure. They let the audience fill in the blanks because the audience already knows everything this man has been through. Cody didn't need to explain himself to CM Punk last Friday. He just needed to say when. And the answer was SummerSlam. There was no hesitation, no anger, no over-explaining. Just a man who knows he's getting his title back. Compare that to the energy Cody had when he was chasing the title against Roman Reigns. There were tears. There were long, emotional promos about his father, about finishing the story. This time around, there's a quiet, steely confidence that reads very differently. This is a Cody Rhodes who's been here before. He lost the title to Sami Zayn at Night of Champions in what was, honestly, one of the more surprising title changes in recent memory. A roll-up, clean in the middle, and suddenly Sami Zayn is your WWE Champion for about 9 days before Punk shows up and takes it. And through all of that chaos, Cody just waited. He got his name in the conversation immediately. He walked into SmackDown, and within the opening segment of the show, he had his SummerSlam title match confirmed. That is not how WWE books a guy who's going to lose. Now here's another layer of this, and it's a big one. The fact that this match was always the plan, and I mean always, is itself a storytelling device. Multiple credible reports had Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk as the intended SummerSlam main event for a very long time. The Sami Zayn championship reign, as beloved as Sami is, was essentially a beautiful detour that added some emotional flavor to the journey. The original plan before Night of Champions was for Cody to walk into SummerSlam as champion and defend against Punk. Then Zayn won the title in Saudi Arabia, Punk came back in Chicago, stripped the title from Zayn in 9 days, and we landed exactly where we were always supposed to land. Cody Rhodes challenging for the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam. The destination didn't change, only the road did. That matters because it tells you this is a story WWE has been invested in for months.
This isn't a match that was thrown together because they needed a main event. This is a match that people within the company have been discussing since at least WrestleMania weekend, when Punk and Cody shared that memorable promo confrontation on the Raw Fallout show. There were reports that this match was originally slated for WrestleMania 43, and that WWE made a conscious decision to move it up to SummerSlam because they want SummerSlam 2026 to be exceptional. When a company pulls a marquee match forward because they want to make a show better, they are making a statement. They are saying this match is a centerpiece. And centerpiece matches at SummerSlam, when they involve a former champion chasing the title against a heel who essentially backed into the opportunity, have a very clear historical tendency to end with the babyface getting the belt. If you're enjoying this breakdown and you want more content like it, WWE analysis, storyline, deep dives, things that the casual fan might miss, smash that like button and subscribe to WrestleCore right now. Hit the bell so you don't miss anything. We drop videos like this constantly, and the algorithm is genuinely terrible at telling people we exist, so you doing that actually makes a difference. Appreciate you. Now let's talk about the Gunther situation, because this is where things get really juicy and where I think the booking tells you everything you need to know about the endgame. Gunther spent the entirety of SmackDown last Friday acting like a man possessed. He stormed Aldis' office backstage and gave him an ultimatum: add him to the SummerSlam main event by the end of the night or else. He didn't care if it was Punk or Cody he was fighting, he just wanted a title shot. Aldis, to his absolute credit, played it brilliantly.
He declined to change the SummerSlam match. Instead, he booked Gunther into a tag team match at Saturday night's main event, teaming with Sami Zayn of all people, against Punk and Cody Rhodes at Madison Square Garden. And when Gunther found out his demand hadn't been met, he walked to the ring and choked Nick Aldis out. Multiple times, with officials scrambling to pull him off. It was unhinged, it was great television, and it ended with Cody Rhodes sprinting down the ramp to make the save, the show cutting to black, and Gunther retreating through the crowd. Here is why this matters for predicting SummerSlam. Gunther is being positioned as the man standing between Cody Rhodes and the championship picture. He's the obstacle. He's the reason Cody didn't even get to fight for the title at the Raw where Punk won it, because Gunther attacked him and kept him off the card entirely. Gunther already cost Cody one championship opportunity. He's now furious about being excluded from SummerSlam. He and Cody are going to share a ring at Saturday night's main event. There is a program here, a post-SummerSlam program that probably involves Gunther and the newly crowned champion. But that only makes sense if Cody is the champion going into that program. Think about it. If Punk walks out of SummerSlam still holding the title, what does Gunther's story arc from the last several weeks have to do with anything? Gunther's entire recent narrative has been about the Undisputed Championship, about being denied what he believes he's owed. The person who has been most directly affected by Gunther's obsession is Cody Rhodes. Gunther cost Cody a championship match. Cody then wins the title at SummerSlam. Gunther goes after Cody as the new champion. That is a clean, logical, dramatically satisfying story. WWE has been laying the groundwork for it right in front of us, on TV, in plain sight. This is something longtime fans of the business understand. The chase tells you where the story is going. When a babyface loses a title under controversial circumstances, gets immediately positioned as the number one contender, and the heel who cost him his first shot is being built as the next major obstacle, that is a redemption arc. Cody losing to Zayn at Night of Champions, in a roll-up of all things, set up the perfect emotional engine for a title recapture. Wrestling has a language. Losing by roll-up means you weren't truly beaten. Losing because Gunther attacked you beforehand means the universe owes you a receipt. Cody Rhodes is cashing in that receipt at SummerSlam. And then there's the Punk side of the equation, which also points in the same direction. Punk walked into SmackDown last Friday and was presented almost immediately as a guy with a target on his back. Yes, he's the champion. Yes, he's confident and charismatic and the crowd loves him. But the framing of the opening segment put Cody Rhodes in a position of moral authority. Cody was robbed. Cody had his shot taken away. Cody walked in quietly, said one word, and the entire audience was on his side. Punk's acceptance of the challenge was gracious, but it was also the act of a man who knows he's borrowing time. He said himself he always figured this match would be at WrestleMania. The implication being, he wasn't necessarily expecting it this soon. Cody forced his hand. A babyface forcing the champion's hand is textbook babyface is about to win the title storytelling.
Let's also not overlook the specific language Cody used during the opening segment. He referenced how the last time they were in that position, the circumstances were almost identical, even down to Punk having a black eye. He pointed out that Punk caught an opportunity that fell out of the sky, and then noted that his own opportunities have taken years to build toward. That contrast is deliberate. Punk as a man who seizes moments of luck. Cody as a man who earns everything through grind and sacrifice. In WWE's moral universe, the man who earns it eventually beats the man who lucked into it. That is how these stories work. That is how they have always worked. The match at Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden, Punk and Cody teaming up against Gunther and Sami Zayn, is also fascinating from a storytelling perspective. Forced tag team alliances between two guys who are about to fight each other at a pay-per-view are a classic WWE trope, and they almost always serve the same purpose: to show the audience that these two men respect each other and that this rivalry is a competitive one rather than a hateful one. The fact that they're tagging together before SummerSlam means the match at SummerSlam is being framed as a competition between two great wrestlers rather than a blood feud. Rivalries built on mutual respect, when they involve a babyface challenger and a title, tend to end with the babyface winning and both men coming out looking good. It keeps Punk's character intact while giving Cody his moment. And look, I'll be real with you, CM Punk winning at SummerSlam is not 0%. He's one of the greatest performers in the history of this company, and there are storylines you could build off a Punk title retention. But when you step back and look at everything, the long-term booking plans that were in place for this match, the way Cody has been characterized throughout this build, the Gunther storyline that desperately needs a new champion to chase, the Night of Champions title loss that screamed temporary setback, and the quiet, one-word SummerSlam answer that carried more confidence than any 10-minute promo could. The arrows are all pointing in one direction. Cody Rhodes is walking out of Minneapolis with the Undisputed WWE Championship. And you know what? As someone who has watched a lot of wrestling, who has been burned by bad booking more times than I care to count, and who has learned not to trust anything until the 3 count hits, this is one of those rare times where the story being told on screen and the story being told behind the scenes are both pointing at the same outcome. The SmackDown episode on July 10th wasn't just a fun show. It was WWE planting a flag. This is the destination. Cody Rhodes finishes the story again. Different chapter this time, different villain, but the same American nightmare standing on top of the mountain.